Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is June 22nd, 2021. The Nasdaq 100 made another new all-time high and closed at a new closing high. So I thought I'd take the opportunity and do a brief video just to go through today's price action. And also I want to let you know about the new video that I just released. So stay tuned. Now, before I begin, I just want to let everybody know about this new video that I just put out. And this is the video that explains all the market indicators, the sentiment and the market internals, such as these on the screen here, what they are and how to interpret them, so you could get an objective view of what the market is trying to tell us. So I just put this video out, and you will be able to click on this image at the end of this video, and it will take you to that video, or click on the information icon up here on the upper right hand corner, and you could also find a link to that video. In addition to that, I also post a link down in the description below. So I hope you find this educational, and let me know if you have any questions and post them in the comment section, and I will answer them as soon as possible. Now let's start off with this intraday chart of the S&P 500, and you could see that it finally got back above this May 7 all-time closing high, and that is the 4232.60. Been trying to get back above that ever since that it made a new closing high last week. So right now it finally got over it today, and you can see that it is coming back up and got close to the all-time high from the S&P 500. We'll take a look at that in a little bit more detail later on in this video. Let's just look at this new high, new low today in the New York Stock Exchange. It had 122 more new 52-week high than 52-week low, and also the up-down volume ratio is only 1.09, so it's pretty much neutral. And the VIX, the fear index we call it, it actually came down to 16.71. So once again, market participants are getting a little bit more complacent. And then you look at the put call ratio is sitting at 0.56, with on once again, and the advanced decline, pathetic, absolutely pathetic, right? It was negative most of the session, and then until near the end of the trading session, it came up and turned positive, and there was only 240 more advancing issue than declining issue. So for a day that the S&P 500 is up, 0.5% or 21 point, with only 240 more advancing issue than declining issue, and that is very pathetic for a S&P that even came up and was testing the all-time high. Looking at the daily S&P 500 chart here, as you can see today, it came up just a little bit less than 2 points, reaching this all-time high here. And you can see on Friday it broke this trend line, or this wedge, and even got below this pivot high. And on Monday it came back up and regained all the losses from Friday plus more. And you can see today got a little continuation. So we'll be watching the S&P 500 because there is a EMini SP500 Globex all-time high that is telling us to expect a new all-time high from the S&P 500. And if we switch over and take a look at this EMini SP500 future chart, the ES, this is the level that I'm talking about here, this 42.58 This high was made on June 15 during the Globex trading session. So this right here is telling us to expect the S&P 500 to come up and put in a new all-time high. And looking at the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500, as you can see, I posted this chart on Twitter last night and also in the YouTube channel section. And you can see that the price came up and bumped up against this value area high. This is the composite volume profile at 422.70, and it tested there, for a few hours before it actually broke through and you can see it came up to this low volume area here and found a little bit of a rejection. And the high here is the 425.46. So this would be the level to keep an eye on when the S&P 500, the cash index, and also the EMini SP500 makes a new all-time high. Here we are looking at the daily chart of the Nasdaq 100. You can see the Nasdaq 100 put in a new closing high and also a new all-time high. And right now, we do have a little concern about that, and I'll show you the reason why. And here is the concern that we have about the Nasdaq 100 making all-time high. See, the Nasdaq 100 closed at a new closing high today, and you can see here's the negative divergence, right, of the Nasdaq cumulative AD line. You see how it, moving lower as the Nasdaq 100 is moving higher. This have to be reconciled soon, and the likelihood is this index will come down, to reconcile this negative divergence. So you can see that it never came down like the S&P 500 to this pivot low here. It just continue to move up and stay above this trend line. So right now, the stock that's been moving this, we all know it's been the FANG stock. And let me show you that heat map, and then you can see what is actually driving, or who is actually driving this index to a new all-time high. And here's the heat map of the Nasdaq 100. You see Apple, Microsoft, Google, all the tech stock is basically a green, right? You see hardly any, just the healthcare and the consumer stable, the industrial, the utility, a little here and there. But look at all these large cap, tech stock. Those are making big gain, huge gain today to push the Nasdaq 100, and also similarly for the S&P 500, because a lot of these large cap tech stock is also in the S&P 500. See Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, all these. And then you look at the other sector, such as the healthcare, not much, financial, mixed bag, consumer stable, mixed bag, real estate, no, utility, no, energy, a little bit of a mixed bag. So you can see it's all about these large cap tech stock that is pushing the S&P and the Nasdaq 100 to near the new high territory for the S&P 500 and into the new high territory for the Nasdaq 100. And on this chart, you can see this is the advanced decline, the daily advanced decline on the Nasdaq. You can see it's been negative, ever since the opening, and trying to make itself back up. And you can see just right near the close, it sneak up into positive territory, and it closed with 50 more advancing issue than declining issue. And that is for a Nasdaq closing at a new closing high that gained over 133 points, or 0.94%, and that is pathetic to say the least. So you can see that, if it wasn't for those large cap tech stock, this market, the Nasdaq, is really pretty darn weak. And even on the tick, you see most of the tick is negative. The cumulative tick is negative throughout the entire session, except into the last hour of trading. Then it sneak up and turn positive. You got some of these buy program came in late in the day, but look at this, mostly it's under minus 500. So there's been a lot of sell program throughout the day, except into the close. You see some big large buy program came in and push the cumulative tick to a positive. And here looking at the QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100, you can see it came to move above this zone here, this 346.38. We have a zone here, essentially the prior high here, and it pushed through. Right now, it found a little bit of resistance up here at the high, so it's kind of pulled back a little bit at the close. But you can see that it is definitely a little extended, and we expect to see it come back down to test these low volume zone here and possibly get back into this composite value area and chop around. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back down to this 340 level. So we'll keep an eye on it. Now let's go to the sentiment and then the market internal. So as you can see, this S&P 500 close up, and you see the sentiment is sitting at 1.66 on the VIX and 0.56 on the put-call ratio. And for the up-down volume ratio for the New York Stock Exchange, today is 1.12. Yesterday is quite impressive. It was up at 4.5. And also today is a little pathetic on the advanced decline. Finished the session off at 330 more advancing issue than declining issue. But yesterday it was a bit impressive. It was over 1,500. It was at 1,639 more advancing issues than declining issues. And the new high, new low today is sitting at 124 more new 52-week high than new 52-week low. And the NYSE AD line came up a little bit, but it's still not at the high. But of course, the S&P 500 did not close with a new closing high, although it got close to the new all-time high. But it's the close that we are looking at, well, when we compare the AD line and the index. And here's the Nasdaq with the Nasdaq 100 making a new all-time closing high and all-time high. The up-down volume ratio is only 1.3, and on Monday, which is yesterday, it was sitting at 1.8, 1.9. Not very impressive for the gain and also the new high. And today, as we said earlier, it is just pathetic. 147 more advancing issue than declining issue. So not a bought market participation. Even yesterday wasn't that quite impressive. It was 741 more advancing issue than declining issue. And there were only 70 more new 52-week high than 52-week low in the Nasdaq market today. With a new closing high, one would expect to be have a higher, more new 52-week high than 52-week low. And we saw this chart earlier, the Nasdaq AD line, negative divergence. Now let's go and finish up looking at the other indexes. So here looking at the Russell 2000, you see the Russell 2000 is trying to get back above this 2297 level. You know, it came back in and dipped under this declining trend line, but yesterday and today got back above it. So right now the key is, will it be able to continue, follow up and make it above this 2297? Then we could start looking at the possibility for the Russell 2000 to come back up and put that all-time high in play. And looking at the Dow Jones Transportation, you see the Dow Jones Transportation came down to this lower channel trend line on Friday. Got a nice bounce in the first couple of days of the week. And right now we're essentially to see will it be able to get back above this 15,000 level and possibly get up to retest this resistance here that was support somewhere around 15,300. And if it unable to get back either above this level or get rejected up here at this resistance, then we would expect it to come back down. And if it breaks this trend line, then we'd be watching for this 14,240 area. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial, we saw the Dow Jones Industrial came down, dip below this pivot low here on Friday. And on Monday, had a huge gain and we captured that and got back above these pivot low. Today, it finished up with a little bit of a indecisive type of spinning top candle. So in the next few days, we're going to see will the Dow Jones Industrial continue to move upward and possibly come up and put in a new all-time closing high. And the reason why we still have the expectation of the Dow Jones Industrial to put in a new all-time closing high is the Dow theory. Right now, we don't know, is it going to come down here, test this 33,000, then bounce back up and put up a new closing high, or will this be the launching path that will push it up to a new closing high? And here's the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index. You can see here, put in a tweezer type of a candle here, and right now it's still sitting above this this trend line. And right now we're going to see would it be able to come up and put in a new closing high. But if it doesn't, then break below this wedge, this trend line here, then we be watching at this 15,775 area. Now, before I end this video, let's take a quick look at the EMini SP500 profile chart. This right here is the market profile. And here are some of the single print that we're looking at today, and it got repair. In other words, it got taken care of. And also the other thing is these are from yesterday. And I posted this chart here last night talking about this poor structure from yesterday's profile. You got all these single print and a long single print tail. So eventually we need to see price come down and repair these single print. In other words, come and tag these price level. So tomorrow we could see a possibility of come back up and take out this poor high, because this right here is a poor high, and here is the Globex all-time high level. So if the market continue or the E-mini continue to push higher tomorrow, we could see this all-time high being tagged and taken out. But if it decide to move back down, then look for the single print from today. There's also a couple single print down here to get filled and also come down and repair this poor low here. This is also poor low. So today, the structure actually have a poor low and a poor high. And if it come down to repair this poor high, this poor low, look for the single print here from this poor structure to get repaired. So those are the some of the levels to keep an eye on, and I will update these levels here, and then I'll post the chart on my Twitter stream tonight. So if you're interested, go and check out my Twitter stream for the chart later on. And here's the volume profile. You can see yesterday the volume profile kind of opened up here and kind of built a little bit of a volume, and it just took off. So it was a little bit of a trend day yesterday, right? And then it start just kind of balance off here for the remaining of the session yesterday. And then today it opened and tested this this range here and this point of control, and held above this this high volume node here. And then once it broke above this value area from yesterday, then it is off to the races again, right? So it came up and also do a little bit of a trend day, and toward the close of the session, it pulled back. So keep an eye on this. It came down to this high volume node. So it got a little bit extended long here. Wouldn't be surprised that we could see it come back down and retest this point of control once again, or even come down and come right to, cut to this value area here tomorrow. Because if this thing come down and try to fill these gaps here, these single print, and the prices could retrace itself back to possibly into this high volume area and chop. Okay, that's where it started yesterday, right? So it's basically somewhere around here, okay? And that would be inside of this value area. So in summary, although the Nasdaq 100 made a new all-time high today and closed with a new all-time closing high, and also the S&P 500 is on the verge of making a new closing high as well. But the market internal, especially the advanced decline and the up-down volume ratio, doesn't indicate that there is a broad market participation in pushing this market to a new high. So we have to remain cautious, even though the market participants are still being bullish. So as a reminder, if you are unfamiliar with these indicators that I go through in my video, be sure to check out this new video that I just posted to get an understanding and explanation of what are these indicators, the market internal and the market sentiment. And if you have any question, post them in the comment section, and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. So thank you for watching. Be sure to smash the thumbs up to help me promote and share this video, and stay safe.